Hello, everyone. I'm Nathan Leslie, and today I am going to talk to you about the Bahai'ism components of that, which will be Baha'ism, and then the Baha'i faith with a discussion of the geographic of the Baha'i and throughout the discussion, I will weave in some scholarly interpretations, including some works by Adam Berry, Todd Lawson, and Saeed Ali Raza Nakavi, among some others. So the history of the Baha'i faith is a very interesting history. Some scholars working in the field of Islamic studies tend to regard this religion as sort of a Islamic sect. However, many others consider the Baha'i faith to be an independent world religion, and it's one of the fastest growing world religions currently. The history of the Baha'i faith is certainly rooted in Islam. In particular, it's rooted in Shia Islam. And the component of Shia Islam that the Baha'i faith emerges out of is the belief that the 12th Imam will appear 1,000 years after the last. So in the 19th century, in the 1830s and 1840s, there was much discussion of whether this 12th Imam would emerge or not. And this was the beginning of a new cycle or era in this history. And as a result of this, uh, the figure who began Babism, Sayyid Ali Muhammad, emerged, and as one of the key figures, and we'll get to him in just a minute. So the Islamic mystical doctrine of the perfect man or the perfect humanity revolves around this 12th Imam, the Imam Mahdi. And the Imam Mahdi was the key aspect which developed the initially Babism and then the Baha'i faith. So in many ways, we might think of the Baha'i faith emerging out of Shia Islam comparable to the historic link between potentially Judaism and Christianity, how Christianity came out of Judaism. In that the Baha'ism came out of it was sort of an offshoot initially of Islam. However, they have gone in different directions, both Baha'ism and then Baha'i coming out of Baha'ism, and become their own religion in many interpretations. So, in common with Islam, the Bobby, what are called manifestation, is kind of like another way of thinking about uh, the idea of being a prophet, hammock, um, tradition are considered as being divine. Zarathustra are all considered to be divine manifestations, or in other words, prophets. this is a break from Islam. Another key aspect historically that develops is this idea that the divine manifestations of God uh, are sort of physicians, divine physicians who are healing humanity. And this is another aspect which we'll get to when we come back to the some of the practices of the Baha'i faith. Also around this time, so the Babi and Baha'i faith that emerged out of Islam in the 19th century was not; these were not alone. Another branch of Islam came out of Pakistan, the Ahmadiyya Islam, and this was founded by Mirza Ghulam Ahmad. And like Babi and like um, Baha'u'llah, Mirza Ghulam uh, Ahmad Islam initially and became its own religion, with similar parallel branching off of Christianity. So the 19th century is a very interesting time for religion. Here's a quote. High faith, it is useful to at least think of this in terms of genesis and development. As heretical, and at least during the Babi phase of what is referred to was a notion of a lack of piety, devotion to the central symbols of Islam, especially Islam. What is clear is that from the very beginning, religion espoused an uncompromising anti-clericalism from being anti-Islamic. This quote is very interesting because he points out the controversial nature of the Baha'i faith and the initial Babi faith as well, being considered the Shia Islam uh, branch of the Bab, or the gate to the sort of the Sama, the sacred scripture of Baha'i. And this religion, by the way,